On behalf of Michael, Ian, and Philip Baldwin and the Marian Institute, welcome back to the Three Brothers Quest, Mauro Biglino.
Oh, thank you for having me in your podcast.
Well, and thank you for...
I'm very happy.
And thank you for having us in your place.
Okay.
It's so wonderful to be here.
We are at home, so we are discussing friendly.
Yes, I know. I feel like this is very intimate. Yeah, it's an honor to be here. So the subject of today's podcast is your brand new book called Skies of Fire, War Machines and Technology in the Ancient Texts. And
Yes.
you co-wrote this book with the great Swiss man Erich von Däniken,
Yes.
who wrote a very popular and I would say very provocative
Yes.
book many decades ago called Chariots of the Gods.
The gods.
Yes.
Yes.
So before we get into all of that, Mauro, for those who missed our first conversation,
Yes.
just a quick recap. You are from Italy,
Yes.
from Torino?
Torino.
Here in Torino. You grew up in the Christian tradition.
Yes. Catholic tradition.
Catholic
Yes.
tradition, yes.
I was brought up in Catholic tradition.
Yes, and you described yourself in our first podcast as relentlessly curious.
Oh, yes. It's my main characteristic.
Yes, which I think is important as we get into this.
Yes.
And I would encourage our viewers and listeners at Three Brothers Quest to go back and listen to the first conversation with Mauro. But just to bring everyone up to speed, you are trained in a number of languages: ancient Hebrew, ancient Aramaic,
Ancient Greek, Latin. Yes.
English.
Because in order to translate the Bible, it's necessary to know these ancient languages.
Yes.
Overall, Greek and Latin.
Yes, and you did collaborate with the Vatican on biblical translations until you had a parting of ways with them. Disagreement, perhaps, or...
Yes, I translated for Edizioni San Paolo, which is a publisher who works under the Vatican. I translated 17 books of the Old Testament from Masoretic Hebrew. Masoretic Bible is the Bible from which depend all the Bible we have at home.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yes.
And they published 17 books with my name. And in the contract they gave me was written clearly that I had to make a literal translation.
Yes.
Word by word.
Yes.
Without interpretation. Without elaboration.
Yes.
And so I did.
Yes.
They published 17 books, but during this work for them, I noticed many mistakes.
Yes.
Many misinterpretations.
In translation.
Yes. And so I point out these inconsistencies.
Yes.
And I started in 2010. I started to be public. I started to speak in public about what, in my opinion, is really actually written in the Bible. And Edizioni San Paolo show kindly me the way out.
showed you the door.
Okay.
We say in English.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
the
yes,
door.
yes.
The door out.
Yeah, and so that was 15 years ago.
Yes.
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 So, and you have been very busy since that time, and we discussed these books in the first interview, but just again, for folks who have not caught up to speed. Gods of the Bible, a collection of interviews with you called The Naked Bible.
Yes.
And your most recent book, Solo, Jesus Demigod.
Yes.
And in these books, you argued, and again, in our first podcast, that if you take the Bible translated literally,
Okay.
you will not find in a literal translation of the Bible an omnipotent, omnipresent, monotheistic, all-knowing, all-seeing God.
Absolutely no.
Yeah. In fact, and last point from our first podcast, when you look at words like Elohim
Yes.
or Yahweh,
Yes.
what you discover is those words do not refer to this omniscient,
Spiritual
omnipotent
God.
the spiritual God up in the heavens, but rather beings
Yes.
who in many ways seem to act a lot like humans.
Yes. Beings in flesh and blood.
Yes, they eat,
Absolutely.
they drink, they fornicate, they have emotions, they get angry,
They fight.
with one another.
Yes.
So the Elohim, specifically Yahweh, which often gets translated as this omnipotent, omniscient, monotheistic God in the heavens, is actually, you're suggesting, something else.
Yes. I for these terms in particular, I suggested not to translate, but let them just they are.
Yes.
Why? Because actually nobody in the world knows the real meaning of these terms. Elohim can be translated the power ones,
The power.
but we are not sure. Yahweh is a term that was translated in many ways, but it's necessary to know that Yahweh was pronounced for the first time when the Hebrew language didn't exist yet. So, and was pronounced and was after written down many centuries after, only with consonant,
Yes.
without vowels.
Yes. YHWH
Exactly.
in English. Yes.
So we don't know in which language it was pronounced.
Okay. That's very interesting. So could have been Aramaic, could have been Hebrew. We don't know.
Could have been the language of Yahweh.
Okay.
I don't know.
We
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't know.
We
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I say clearly that I don't know. I'm not afraid to say that.
Yes.
For me, it's important to say to the public what I'm really reading
Yes.
in the Bible.
Yes.
And Yahweh is a term without a real meaning,
Yes.
because only what we know is that was written Yahweh. Yahweh.
Yes.
But what does it mean? I don't know.
Yes.
So it's better let him for what it is.
Yes, and I want to come back to Yahweh in a little bit, but let's move right into your brand new book, Skies of Fire: War Machines and Technology in the Ancient Text. And can I just say the cover of this book is astonishing.
Okay.
When I received this book in the mail from you, it was arresting. It has a picture of what looks to be like a Moses or an Elijah figure here, but this
It's a graphic
How did
representation
this come to be?
of a possible event in the past.
Yes, yes, it's amazing. It's so powerful. Yeah, it's one of the best book covers I have seen in years. How did you come, Mauro, to collaborate on this new book, Skies of Fire, with Chariots of the Gods author Erich von Däniken,
Yes.
who I believe is a Swissman.
Swiss.
Yeah.
Swiss.
Yeah, how did that come to be?
He lives in German Swiss.
In German Swiss.
In
Okay.
German Swiss, Interlaken.
Interlaken. Okay.
But we started, we know each other, and we start to collaborate because we used two methods of research. My method uses the tools of philology, only of philology.
Yes.
So the real meaning of every term. The method of Erich von Däniken instead was the method to visit the sites
Yes.
all around the world, to speaking with archaeologians, with academics, with population of of every place in which there were these archaeological sites. But what is interesting is that my method, my philological method, and his practic method match completely. Reach the same conclusions.
Okay. So the philology of Mauro matches the archaeology of Erich.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are two very powerful disciplines that seem to complement each other.
Yes, yes.
So how did you two decide to collaborate together on this particular book?
Because we want to document to the readers, of course, that the people, ancient people,
Yes.
all around the world, narrated essentially the same history, absolutely the same history, which is the history of a contact between humankind and beings belonging to an higher civilization.
Okay.
And these beings intervened on humankind, on primitive humankind, in order to give them the tools for reach an higher civilization. So they taught agriculture, farming, they taught writing, reading, building, living in an organized society, and so on. And all the people tell the same history.
That was one of the most interesting dimensions to your new book. It's not just focused on the Bible.
No, absolutely.
You describe in the subtitle of the book the ancient texts.
Yes.
So you broaden your analysis to beyond the Christian Bible, let's say.
Yes. What is important it's to tell to the readers that the Bible is one of the books that ancient humankind wrote in order to record what happens.
Yes.
What happened
Yes.
in the long past.
Yes, what happened back there? Yes, yeah. One of
and we in the book we document that all around the world, from Australia to North America, from South America to north of Europe to Africa to the Middle East to the China, we have the same histories.
So
absolutely the same histories.
Yes, it's so fascinating.
And so we cannot think that all the people invented the same history.
Yes.
It's impossible.
Yes.
And at that time there was not internet.
Yes, no internet. So there's this shared ancient history that you and Erich suggest reveals itself across these ancient texts.
Yes.
Not just the
Yes.
Bible. I want to come back to that in a moment, but for folks who maybe need an example or two of a literal translation of a term, could you, because this book is focused on war and machines and ancient technologies, could you talk a little bit about the word kavod?
Okay.
And maybe tie that to ruach,
Yeah.
and other. This will give our listeners and viewers just a taste of what you're up to with your literal with your philology. Yeah.
Yes. When I was translated for Edizioni San Paolo, I had the need to search the real meaning of the root of every term. So when I encountered, for example, the term kavod, I, using the dictionaries of the Israeli university, that the term written only with consonant kavod indicates something heavy, something of weight, but it's not enough. Because in order to understand what exactly is the kavod, it's necessary to read carefully the context in which the term is inserted. Because if we take the term and decontextualize it, we can discuss for centuries. We can discuss for centuries without reach a conclusion. Instead, if we read carefully the context, we understand clearly that kavod is a tool used by Yahweh to move around. Because Moses asks Yahweh, I won't see your kavod. And the kavod is normally translated as glory.
Yes.
And if Moses asks Yahweh to see his glory, it means that God was moving around without his glory.
Yes, yes. And perhaps this up here is the kavod. I don't know, but so yeah.
Excuse me.
Please,
Excuse
yeah,
me.
please.
Sorry.
No,
But and Yahweh understand the need of Moses and tell is be ready for tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll show you my glory.
Yes.
So it means that Yahweh, the so-called God, tells Moses, tomorrow I bring my glory.
Yes, yes.
But it's not enough, because Yahweh had the need to warn Moses and tell him, when I when I am passing with my kavod, you must hide yourself behind these rocks, because if you are facing the kavod, you will die. And what does it mean? It means that the rocks, simple rocks, are able to do what God is not able to do.
Yes.
I.e. to protect Moses from the mortal effects of his kavod.
Yes.
And this is ridiculous.
Yes.
In the book of Ezekiel is written that when the kavod of Yahweh rises from the ground to the sky, it produces a loud noise. And Ezekiel tells that the kavod of Yahweh is behind him. So he hear the loud noises, don't see the kavod, but hear the noise produced. So it's clear, if we read the Bible without the lenses of theologians, it's clear that the Bible is talking about something real, something material, something of weight, something who fly.
Yes. A powerful flying machine.
A powerful flying machine.
Yes. Yes. And maybe that is the single best example from, and you've written about the kavod in your other books, but from this new book, Skies of Fire, the kavod is not the existential spiritual glory of God. The kavod is a powerful flying technological craft.
Yes.
Or machine.
And also ruach.
Thank you. That was my next question. So ruach is often translated as the spirit or the breath
Yes.
of Yahweh. But you have a different take.
Yes, because the Hebrew language is a polysemic one. So every term has a plurality of meaning. And also for ruach, just like for kavod, it's necessary to read carefully the context. Because I can give an example. Spirit, also in English, can identify a phantom or alcohol.
Yes.
And how can I distinguish the two meanings? Using the context.
Correct.
If I am drinking, it's obvious that I am drinking alcohol.
Yes, spirits.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I am talking about an old castle inhabited by a spirit.
Yes, a ghost perhaps.
A ghost,
Yes,
a ghost,
yes,
okay,
yeah,
a
yeah.
ghost.
Yeah.
It's obvious that I'm speaking about a ghost.
Yeah.
And it's simple. And in the Bible is written that the ruach comes from a precise direction, goes in a precise direction, can stay in a place, can rising out of the ground and going in other place. So the Spirit of God must be omnipresent. Instead, the ruach of the Bible is something who moves
Yes.
around.
Yes. Yes. So it's also a technology of some sort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in the Bible there are many mechanical flying objects. We have kavod, we have ruach, we have merkava,
Yes.
we have ephah, we have megillah, we have keruv, and so we have many kinds of flying machines. And it's clear, for example, is clearly written that on the keruv, Yahweh was moving around just like one is driving a horse. So he was sitting
Yes.
on the keruv,
Yes.
just like one is sitting on a horse.
Wow.
And this is written two times, clear, without my translation.
Yes. Yes.
Is a literal meaning of these phrases.
So the kavod is a chariot of some sort, let's say, and Yahweh is the charioteer. He is the driver.
Yeah, the driver.
Okay, that's so fascinating. Can I ask you about one more before we move on? Because our listeners and viewers will be curious. The Ark of the Covenant,
Yes.
which was, of course, made famous through Hollywood in the United States with Steven Spielberg's film Raiders of the Lost Ark with Harrison Ford. You and Eric write about the Ark of the Covenant.
Yes.
Can you say a few words about that?
Ark of the Covenant is clearly a tool that can be considered as a generator and condenser of energy. It could be handled only by men who were prepared to do it and who were dressed to handle the Ark of the Covenant, because it was very dangerous. Who touch this ark without the necessary protection die immediately. And also this is written in the Bible. And when the ark is preparated, I don't know how to say. Prepared.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Prepared for the battle, the army of Israel have to stay at 1 kilometer of distance from the ark. So the ark was bring by the personnel prepared, and the army walked at 1 kilometer of distance from the ark.
Wow.
Because it was dangerous.
So the Ark of the Covenant is some kind of a powerful, energetic weapon.
It's a weapon, absolutely.
Yeah.
A weapon. Not only because over the ark there was two elements named cherubim with two lateral parts facing one each other, and in this four lateral part of this cherubim, Moses talked with Yahweh when Yahweh was not here.
Ah, so it was like a communication.
A tool of communication.
Wow. And the word cherubim, some in English sometimes pronounced cherubim.
Cherubim.
And what's funny about cherubim in English is often we will conjure cherubim as like cute little angels who are flying around.
Just like in Italy.
With same thing.
Just like in Italy.
And you were saying the cherubim actually was a long distance communication device as part of this energy weapon.
Yes.
The Ark of the
And this is explained because the term keruv,
Okay.
mean something who cover. And the cherubim which were over the Ark of the Covenant covered this ark, and the other types of the cherubim had the whale, wings,
Yeah.
had the wings that were folded when they were staying in a place.
Wow.
And in many books, extra biblical, is written that when cherubim were resting, ceased the rumor, the noise, and ceases the wind.
Okay.
They were doing when were in function.
Yes, they came to rest.
They came to rest.
They kind of turned off, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Exactly.
And when you say extra biblical texts, again, ancient Hindu texts.
Oh yes.
Right?
Yes.
Can you talk for a moment about some of the other texts that you and Erich explore in the book?
Yes, in Hinduism there are many kinds of flying machines. The most famous are the vimanas. And the vimanas were the machines used by the so-called divinities, the deva in Hindu language,
Right.
used for go from the ground to the sky. And Erich von Däniken suggests that when the Hindu talks about the sky, actually talks about a mothership.
Wow.
So the vimana were little flying machines used to go back and forth.
Wow. To the
And
yeah.
in the Bible is written that the patriarch Enoch, antediluvian patriarch Enoch, and also Noah were going back and forth with the Elohim, because the term in Hebrew means literally go to back and forth.
Wow. So
Literally.
Literally. So back and forth from the ground, the earth, to the sky.
To the sky.
To the mothership.
I don't know where.
Whatever
I don't
it
know
is.
where.
That's amazing. So,
But in the Psalm 24
yes.
is written that, and is also in the book, is written that there were two types of door, named Shearim and Petachim.
Yes.
And through these doors, Yahweh crossed with his kavod, and the second kind of doors were called Petachim Leolam. And Olam is a term that means an unknown place.
Yes.
So nobody knew where Yahweh was going.
Okay.
But he was passing through these doors. We can think to a sort of stargates. Of course, is an hypothesis.
Yes.
Because we don't have proof.
Yes. A stargate, a space-time portal, a wormhole.
Yes.
As I was reading your new book, yeah, my quantum physics brain was like, what?
Okay.
Yeah, so interesting. Yeah. So this all begs an obvious question, Mauro, which is, when did these beings, these Elohim, Yahweh and others, when did they leave us as humans, or perhaps, given the return of the UFO, UAP conversation in the culture all over the world, perhaps they have never left? What is your take on
Oh, perhaps it's possible they had never left.
that?
Because they were absolutely similar to us. And we are naked like them, is written also in the Bible. But there are some famous historians, like Tacitus, Roman Tacitus,
Of course, yeah.
who wrote that when the Roman conquered the city of Jerusalem in 70 after Christ,
AD. Yeah.
in the sky of Jerusalem there were many flying objects, and the men who were here heard a voice telling the gods are going away.
Wow. Tacitus writes this.
Yes.
Whoa.
But not only Tacitus, also the historian Judeo-Roman Josephus Flavius
Yes.
writes the same thing. And it says that this fact appears incredible, but this fact, this event had many testimonies, many witnesses. And so for Tacitus is absolutely real.
So,
And it's possible that they got away in this moment.
Yes.
But Saint Paul, in one of his letters, tells, be careful to the hospitality, because without knowing, it's possible that someone of you has hosted one of them.
wow.
Because they are like us.
Yes. Yes.
And so is written in a letter of St. Paul.
Wow.
And it's were normal
Yes.
for them.
So if we look at historical accounts, again, going back to ancient times, you're suggesting that we actually see the appearance of these beings much more frequently than we might think.
It's possible, absolutely.
Yeah. That's so interesting. So the brothers wanted me to ask you about the work of Zechariah Sitchin.
Yes.
Some of our audience will know Sitchin's work. What is your understanding? What's your take on his
But I think that Zechariah's teaching has been the first who read in the Sumerian laws the same history. Because the Bible is a sort of summary of Sumerian history. And the curious thing is that the Catholic Church tells us that the Sumerian history are a myth. The biblical history is the truth.
Yes. Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Cioè, the first account is a myth, the copy is the
It's
truth.
the truth. That makes no sense.
Doesn't make no sense.
Yeah. 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 So thank you for your take on Sitchin. We've been wanting to ask you that. So back to these beings, the brothers point out this strange paradox. These beings seem to be often, I'm going to use the word genocidal, like they wage war.
Yes.
They fight.
Yes.
And humans suffer
Yes.
when they fight. But also, they seem to be involved, maybe, in offering legal codes, the Code of Hammurabi.
Yes.
Moses with the Ten Commandments. Yes. How do you understand, how do you make sense of this paradox between waging war, genocide, and these ancient legal frameworks?
But because I think they were like us. So, in the inner of the wide group of beings, there were, we can say, the goods and the bads. It's normal. And also Yahweh, in the Bible we have the description of one of the warriors of the Elohim. But we have also the description, for example, of the Elohim who were medical doctor, who were genetical engineer. So they were a group of conquerors, and their tasks were divided. Yahweh was a warrior.
Yes.
Because he was assigned of a small tribe, and so he had the need to conquer a land to rule over, and so he took a generation of these people in the desert in order to form an army.
Okay.
Because they who were gone out of Egypt were agricultures or shepherds. But Yahweh had the need to have a generation of warriors.
Yeah, soldiers.
Warriors.
Yeah.
And so he took these people in the desert for 40 years.
Yes.
No? In order.
Yes. So he trained them in the desert.
Exactly.
The Hebrews.
And after
Yeah.
he tried to conquer a land, the famous promised land.
Yes.
But, and this is another proof that Yahweh was not God, still today, they have to defend their land
Yes.
with the weapons.
Yes.
So God promised, but has been able to maintain his promise.
Okay. Okay. So modern Israel, let's say, is an extension of that ancient training, Yahweh with the ancient Hebrew people. I mean,
Yes.
that's one way to think about it.
Yes.
That's fascinating.
Yes. I think that the Bible is a wonderful book, not only for what the Bible contains, but also because helps us to understand the present.
Yes, I never made that connection before, but hearing you describe kind of the red thread of Yahweh's existence and presence with that particular group of people, that's fascinating. So the brothers also wanted me to ask you, we have all of these Elohim in ancient times, and maybe you just began to answer this question, but how do you come to make sense of the rise of monotheism, first with Judaism, then with Judeo-Christianity, then with Islam and Muhammad? Why does... Because we go from all these different Elohim to this monotheistic God.
Oh yes, this is a long and difficult speech.
Okay.
But I try to summarize.
Okay.
To be synthetic. The ancient people of Hebrew was polytheistic.
Yes.
If you read carefully for example, the second book of the Kings, if you read the Jeremiah, you can see clearly that they worshipped many of these Elohim. Also Elohim female, like Asherah, for example.
Yes.
Even King Solomon built place in which worship these other Elohim. At the time of the King Josiah, we are in the 7th century before Christ, 623 years before Christ. The King Josiah tried to create a monotheistic religion. He tried to cancel the memory
Yes.
of all other Elohim and maintain only the name of Yahweh.
Okay.
Because in the walls of the temple was found a book, the Deuteronomy, and on the basis of this book, Josiah tried to rebuild a new religion with one God, one place of worship, and one family of high priests. So he tried to concentrate these three things in Jerusalem.
Okay.
But the people continued also after to worship also other Elohim. With the violence.
Yes.
The kings and the high priest reached the purpose to make of Yahweh first the main of the Elohim, and after the unique God. After that, the Christianity take the figure of Jesus, united the figure of Jesus with Yahweh, and continued to speak about only one God.
Yes.
And the Pope, many years ago, if I remember, 28, wrote to the Catholic bishops not to use the name Yahweh in liturgy because it's not Christian.
It's Hebrew, or
Okay, it's true.
yes,
Yahweh is Hebrew. It's
Hebrew.
not Christian.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
This book is a book of Hebrew.
yes.
Only for Hebrew. I want to be more precise. This book is only for the family of Jacob, because to Yahweh was assigned by Elion, quoted in the Bible as the chief of the Elohim, assigned only the family of Jacob with his 12 sons.
Yes.
So, all the other families of Hebrews are not interested
Yes.
in this book.
Yes. This is the so-called 12 tribes
12
of
tribes.
Israel.
Yes.
So is it fair to say then, Mauro, that monotheism as it emerges is kind of an attempt by these different beings to concentrate their power? Is that?
But the purpose was surely this.
Yes.
Concentrate the power.
Yes.
It's difficult to say if this purpose was a purpose of the kings of Israel,
Right.
but it's absolutely possible that was a purpose of the Elohim.
Yes. So
absolutely.
Yes. So the Elohim, Yahweh, others are conspiring with humans in powerful political positions to create these power centers, if
Okay.
you will, or these. Wow, so wild. So
it's possible
Yes,
that still today
yes. Well, that's what I was going to ask.
we have the same situation.
Yes, is Yahweh still with us? How would you answer that question? I mean, we tied it back to sort of the modern nation state of Israel, yes, but Yahweh as a being, still around? We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
But is sure that Yahweh was very able. And so it's possible that during the centuries he had concentrated the power.
Yes.
It's absolutely possible. Because the most important nation in the world refer to Yahweh.
Yes, yes.
So USA, Israel, etc.
Yes.
refer to Yahweh. So it's absolutely possible that, as said a Protestant pastor, Barry Downing, that Elohim are here
Yes.
and are ruling over all the earth.
The current geopolitical situation, having just come from the United States, it does feel that way.
Oh yes.
Yeah. It's so
Absolutely.
so fascinating. Yeah. Well, two final questions for those who are listening and watching, who are still wondering about UFOs, UAPs.
See.
if they were to ask you, Mauro, how do you understand UFOs today? What would you say? How would you answer that?
But it's possible that they are still here.
They being Elohim.
Elohim.
Yes.
They have hidden bases, submarine bases,
Yes,
for example.
under the ocean.
For example,
Yes,
because UAP go in the water,
Yes.
into the water, and so it's absolutely possible that they are here and are moving. The sightings are so many that
So many.
it's impossible that all are visions. It's absolutely impossible.
Yes.
One, at last, one,
Yes.
it's true.
Yes. Well, and let me interject. There's a brilliant U.S. historian. You may know his work. His name is Richard Dolan. And he's written a 2-volume series just of UFO sightings since 1953. And there are thousands all over the world. Thousands. And I've been immersing myself in his work as a historian myself, and it's astonishing.
And the Middle America is
Yes.
one of the places in which the sightings are very, very many.
Yes.
Many, absolutely. In effect, when my quelli che mi contrastano, my enemies.
Your enemies,
Yeah.
your critics.
Okay,
I like enemies though. Your critics.
my
yeah.
critic
Yeah.
says
Yeah.
the Bible doesn't speak about unidentified flying objects. I answer, yes, it's right, because the Bible speaks about identified flying objects.
Yes. Yeah, they're not unidentified. We know. who
We
they are.
know.
Oh, that's so funny.
We know.
Yeah.
Identified.
So we need to change the acronym to IFO, Identified Flying Objects.
Oh, yes,
The
yes,
kavod,
yes.
The ruach. Yeah, oh, that's of Yahweh. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, I like that.
And the descriptions are so precise that can be vision, absolutely.
Yeah, and your philological, is that right? Your use of philology and the ancient languages simply to reveal what is said in these ancient texts is so powerful. All right, so last question. I have to ask you this because so I'm in Torino for the first time. It's a beautiful city. And again, thank you to Torino for hosting. Torino is the home of the sacred shroud of Turin, which is believed to maybe have been wrapped around the Christ after he was crucified. So yesterday, I went to visit both the church and the museum in Torino, where the Shroud of Turin, they tell of the story.
Okay.
And your most recent book, solo, is Jesus Demigod. I was walking over here today, and I wanted to ask you, how would you make sense of the Shroud of Turin in your home city here in Italia? What is the Shroud of Turin? Do you think?
Shroud?
Or yeah.
But the last research is about the symbol, the shroud,
Yes.
tell that it was a face.
False.
But
Who knows?
during the year over year, the opinion changes continuously,
Yes.
and so I think it's necessary to stay calm.
Yes. Not get too excited.
Exactly.
Well, and can you just remind our listeners and viewers how you imagine Jesus demigod to be based on your
Because
research?
I translated from Greek for me, for my own curiosity, maybe 15 times. More.
Molto.
And in my opinion, it's clear that Jesus is son of Mary and of one of them named Gabriel. Gabriel is not a proper name, but indicates a function, one who exercises the power for an hell. So, if Jesus is a son of Mary and one of the hell, of course, he is a demigod.
Yeah. So Jesus is.
I summarized, of course.
And I remember in our first interview, we just touched on this book, Jesus Demigod. So I wanted to return to it. So in other words, Jesus.
Also in this book, I demonstrated that Jesus doesn't did at the age of 33. Yes. But that at the age of 42, 43 years.
Yes. So Jesus, in other words, is part human and let's say part Elohim.
Yes.
Yes. Right. So thus demigod. Yeah. Well, Mauro, once again, conversation number 2. My mind is expanded.
Thank you.
So can you tell us what is next for you? You have a new book, Skies of Fire, with Erich von Däniken, War, Machines, and Technology in the Ancient Texts. You're just introducing this new book to the world. You were mentioning...
Oh yes, I have many topics.
Yes.
To talk about.
Okay. And you are translating the books into
always. The publisher Tutti.
Yes.
Translates every book.
Yes. Amazing.
Because it's important. Yes. My previous editor and publisher wasn't interested in that.
No,
Instead, Tutti Edition publisher is very open.
Yes.
And is very careful to spread the book all around the world.
Yes.
All around the world.
Yes.
And wants that the translations are precise. So the translations are made by a translator of Columbia University.
Nice. And I should say too that you include the original languages in your books. So for anybody who wants to
verify,
take a look and verify the translations, for example, in Gods of the Bible, you lay it all out right there. Yeah,
it's important.
It's very important.
It's very important.
Yeah. Let me ask you one last question. Brother Philip Baldwin, wonders what you're doing is obviously very provocative for those religious authorities who have, let's say, staked out particular interpretations, whole religions, right, built on theological interpretations of the Bible. Do you see yourself, Mauro, as a provocateur, or do you see yourself purely as a scholar who is doing original literal interpretations? How do you make sense of your work?
I'm sure in this answer. I am only a translator. I always say that I don't want build a new religion. Don't want to build a sect. I only want to say to the people what is really written in the Bible. Stop. Punto. For me, my work finish when I say what is really written. And I hope that the people take what I'm saying, I'm writing, to reason in absolute autonomy, without following me. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nobody have to follow me, because I don't know how I am going.
Where
Yes.
you are.
I don't know.
You don't know where you are going, other than you are providing a literal roadmap
Yes.
based on the ancient languages and texts for what may have happened and maybe is still happening.
Yes, yes. And I want to respect absolutely the ancient authors, because often the theology tells things that in the Bible are not present. And this happens because the people don't read the Bible. Just hear what the priests, bishops, cardinals, the Pope say, but often the Bible says other things.
Yes.
Absolutely. For you want an example
Please.
in a English Bible?
Quale vuoi? Te la passo? Questa?
Oh, this is a very good
Translation.
Yes. Revised New Jerusalem.
edition of the Bible. And for example, I tell this thing from 2010, and only in the last years, finally, the church and the translator admit that, for example, the Bible doesn't speak of Almighty God. In Genesis 17 is written, when Abraham was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, I am El Shaddai. El Shaddai is always translated as Almighty, omnipotent. But finally, in the note is written an ancient name for God, only used outside the Pentateuch except by Job, meaning is uncertain. Perhaps Shaddai, not Almighty,
Yes.
God of the mountain or of the open desert.
Yes.
But there is another interpretation that the translators doesn't quote. Shaddai derives from the root shaddad, who means to be violent. So, in this situation, Yahweh could have said, I don't know if the verb is right, said to Abraham, pay attention, Abraham, I am El the violent.
Oh, yes.
So execute my orders,
Yes.
because I am violent. But this is not written in the notes.
No.
But it's important that they wrote that Shaddai means God of the mountain and or God of the desert,
Yes.
not the omnipotent.
Yes. And they use the word perhaps,
Exactly.
which suggests a little uncertainty.
Exactly.
Gli occhiali, Mauro.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it's for that I often recommend to read the Bible.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because reading the Bible, the reader reading carefully the Bible, reading, being carefully to the context, as I said before, everyone can understand what the Bible is writing about.
Yes. And for those listening and watching, Mauro was just looking at a very small footnote at the very bottom of this one page from chapter 17 of the book of Genesis. Yeah. That was an amazing way to end.
Oh,
Because
yes.
You just, in just a few moments, Mauro, showed us how our understandings of ancient history and
Yes.
these Elohim, how those understandings are beginning to shift.
Yes.
Ever so slightly, thanks to your work, and this will have ripple effects across the world.
I just write or say what is really writing,
Yes.
really written in the Bible.
Yes, yes.
For example, in Isaiah, was present the prophecy of the Virgin Maria.
Yes.
Since 2010, I always said this prophecy is not present in the Hebrew Bible. Always. This prophecy is not present. In 2017, in German, I had a conference, and the people arrived with new edition of German Bible, and the prophecy wasn't present yet.
Amazing.
Because it's not present in the Bible.
Yes. So your work is having effects on how Bibles are being retranslated.
Oh yes,
Which
absolutely.
is amazing.
And humankind's history.
Yes, is being retold.
Oh yes.
Yes. Well, Mauro Biglino, this unbelievable. The name of the book again is Skies Afire: Wars, Machines, and Technology of the Ancient Texts by Mauro and his Swiss co-author Erich von Däniken. On behalf of Michael, Ian, and Philip Baldwin and the Marian Institute, thank you for our second conversation.
Thank you to you.
And thank you for hosting us.
I am at disposition when you want working through the internet. We can do.
Thank you. I look forward to
When you want.
Yeah, I look forward to our next conversation.
When you want.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to you.
Brothers, Mauro Biglino, Skies of Fire, War, Machines, and Technology in the Ancient Texts.
Indeed. Terrific read. And I find Mauro so appealing. Well, I'll kick off our hopeful sort of discussion a little bit about what I increasingly think the Three Brothers Quest has a focus on, which is what I now talk about as misinformation, which of course is the word that is being used a great deal today as far as news and everything is concerned. And it strikes me that I love at the very beginning of his book, actually, it's not in the interview, about the Phoenician priest, Sanchuniathon, who lived in the 11th to 10th centuries BCE, complaining, I believe, about what the Egyptians were up to in converting reality, truth, factual stuff into myth. Mm. And this was brought up by Eusebius of Caesarea, whatever it's pronounced. And just saying also, there's been too much conversion of real stuff, factual stuff, into myth. And so I think that's really very important when we consider what Mauro has done. And I think that the other thing is that there are so many mysteries, whether it's Sirius B, the star, whether it's Zimbabwe, and whether it's the 1,000-ton blocks in Baalbek that nobody seems to understand. And the list can go on and on about these great mysteries. And everybody just goes, well, so they're a great mystery. Or let's just turn it into a nice little story, or convert it into a myth. And I think Mauro and von Däniken are showing you yet again, as Mauro did in his interpretation of the Old and New Testament, you got to challenge us with the way in which we're interpreting this material, this archaeological stuff, and tell us that we're wrong. And I think it's pretty powerful. Those are my 2 bits.
Thanks.
Come on, brothers. Chat away as I drink my tea.
No, that's good. Philip, if you have something to say, say it, because I'm not sure what I have to say.
Well, I like what Michael said, and it is fundamental. I wonder if the whole concept of myth is a mistake as a concept. Myth is history that we haven't sussed or whatever. And if I suppose the De Santayana and his co-writer
Von der Schand.
Thank you, Ian, so extraordinarily plunged into this subject and tried to make sense of it discreetly so that they wouldn't get fired from Harvard or wherever because of doing so. Anyway, aside from that, or shall we say complementary to what Michael just said, the biggest, I don't want to say problem, the biggest conundrum that Mauro Biglino poses for me is I kind of start from a point of where I buy what he says. I personally buy what he says. I personally think that the Christian Bible, as it's been inherited down to us and is interpreted to us by its purveyors, is just nonsense. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but it's never made any sense to me. Anyway, Biglino provides me with a way of it making some sense. But there's a problem. And the problem is Biglino's interpretation of the Bible, as far as I can tell, is a totally rationalistic, scientific material backstory of peoples here, there, from other galaxies. Who knows where these Elohim come from? And it doesn't make any difference where they come from. They clearly existed. They clearly weren't very nice people, whatever. And they messed with us, whatever. It's besides the fact that it's not a very warm-hearted little fairy tale in its truth, but that it reduces us to sort of where we are now, in a spiritually dead zone. Mm-hmm. And is that possibly why, because of that, the inheritors of this mistaken mythology applied to it all of these religious trappings so as to give this story meaning? And flash forward, how do you account for the cathedrals? You know, how do you account for the power of some of these things, which we know are spiritually powerful? You walk into one and there's something going on above and beyond the bricks and the mortar. And so people did find a way to attach meaning to what if we accept Biglino's story, is a history book full of facts and machines and spaceships and violence and death and killing and so forth. And that's what keeps going on in my head for me. How do we make sense of this? How do we make this new story of our history, which exposes our history as being profoundly fraudulent in some sense, and do something positive with it? Yeah.
Very good.
Wow. Thanks, Phil.
Good reflections. They sort of make both Michael and Philip, in this occasion, make me want to sort of roll back and think more. So I have quite a few reactions, having just listened to the thing itself. One was, for instance, I mean, we're in a, no wonder we love mafioso stories. I mean, they're popular to the very present moment. And they go all the way back to the work of Sitchin and now Biglino. And there's a little remark that Mauro made when talking about Yahweh, quote unquote. He was very able. And that's, you can hear the Godfather saying why he appointed someone. He was very able.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's one little point, that you can think of this whole thing as a mafioso story of power politics. And Zachariah, let's doff a hat to him. You didn't have time enough to really push him on Zachariah's work.
Right.
But it's completely concordant with what Mauro shared with us. So that's one thing. The other sort of minor point came out. I always thought of Judaism and Hinduism as the two non-axial religions, as we know. All the great formative figures of the time we're living in, the Buddha, Plato, Zoroaster, with the exception of Muhammad, happened around, 5,000-6,000, 100 years BCE. Well, Judaism fits right in. It's Josiah, just before the destruction of the temple, first temple, who decides to create monotheism. He didn't do it alone. The great prophets, the original great prophets, join him in excoriating and exhorting the Israelis of the time to please stop this polytheistic whoring around. We have one God that we should be loyal to. So that was a kind of eureka for me. And I think you can transpose the same logic into the Hindu pantheon, but I'm not so sure, because he of course talks about how Hinduism, the ancient Hindu texts, corroborate this whole, the ETs gave birth to you folks. That's why you look alike. Anyway, and it hooks in with, I think, things we're going to come to whether we like to or not, which is that the power of universal stories about how we originate from sky gods or sky god. And I found mesmerizing his remarks on the kavod and the ruach and the Ark of Covenant. Well, but it's radical. It's radical. I mean, like everyone in this room, I grew up with the traditional interpretation. And what do we make of it? To come back, kind of circle back to Philip's provocative and I think absolutely important, which is observation, which is, well, what about the great cathedrals? The one spot where I think I wish you had probed him more, because he didn't really deal with it, is you said war and technology, they're linked thousands of years ago, and moral codes. So Hammurabi, the 10 Commandments a few hundred years before Hammurabi, or even 1,000 years before. How do these gods, who are all of them, as far as I can tell, warlike, how do they also take such care and attribute such importance to moral codes?
Yep. Beautiful, Ian. My sense in Mauro's answer to that question is that the codes were used by Yahweh and other Elohim to cultivate a sense of loyalty and exclusiveness to a particular Elohim warlord by the human tribe over which Yahweh governed, which to me was mind-blowing, especially when Mauro kind of made the link to the modern nation state of Israel in this instance. And that to me was, I'm still haunted by that moment.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys maybe one more question. What was sort of your biggest kind of aha from listening to Mauro for a second time? For me, it was and Ian, I think you hinted at this, the unanswered question of UFOs, UAPs, call them whatever you want, but kind of this robust global conversation going on right now about these mysterious craft in the sky, and maybe Mauro hinting at, well, those have been with us for a long time. I mean,
According to the Bible,
skies afire. Yeah.
Well, they've been around for anyone who's been steeped in the lore. They've been around forever and a day. They never went away. There's marvelous, famous, I think we all know it, woodcut.
Yeah.
I think it's 16th century, it might be no, it's earlier, if anything, of this aerial warfare going on over a German town.
That's right.
And this didn't pop out of someone's imagination, I don't think.
And just to piggyback on that, Ian, at the very end of Harrison Ford's last Indiana Jones movie, which just came out a couple of years ago, it was called Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Okay.
Steven Spielberg, the director, runs the closing credits of the movie over that image you just described, Ian.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I was thinking in the theater, I was like, what is that image? And I went, and I just thought of it now when you just described it again. In his very first film, of course, Indiana Jones was all about the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So it's so fascinating that all of this stuff is like hiding in plain sight.
Good way to put it.
Two comments. One, with that, in my limited experience, the best accounting of, as Ian referred to, all of these vast experiences across civilizations about these things was Graham Hancock's book, Visionary, from 2000. Unbelievable research. I mean, simply mind-bending research on from Irish fairies to whatever. I mean, just endless, deep homework on this subject. But I come back to the original point that I made at the start of this chit chat. This is all scientific material stuff, guys. There's not a lot of there. A lot of machinery and gadgets and power and control. Hell,
I think that's the nexus of what we need to focus on. And by that, I don't mean right now, because we're not going to.
no.
Jesus comes out of all of that, whether he comes from Gabriel, the son of the agent of an El,
Elohim.
or whether he comes from wherever he comes. His message is love everyone, regardless of provenance. Doesn't matter what the God is. So I think you have to, Philip, I think you have to allow for the transmutation of a film that was run for thousands of years and is suddenly flipping over into a new level of understanding and interpretation. And I don't just Christianity. I think the same could be said in India with the Buddha, who certainly didn't advocate for a god or a group of gods. And of course, I'm losing the plot. But
we also,
I think you have to allow for that, Philip, so that
we also always leave out the Chinese.
So going to your cathedrals thing.
Yeah.
Say it again, Philip. I didn't
No,
hear.
I just wanted to add that, as usual, we leave out the Chinese, who had a whole different take on the whole story. They didn't have a take on that story, as far as I know. They had a whole different cosmology that
We'll get into
but
the Chinese, of course, have two axial figures, Confucius and Lao Tzu. So
absolutely right. Yeah.
I have a feeling we don't know that. For instance, not to jump ahead, Rob, but when I think our next interview is with the Finzer and Gold about Bloom. Thank you, Mikey. Bloom. Ahriman, the theory. There are three epochs in Steinerian thought. I don't want to get. One of them is Lucifer, and he is Chinese.
Thank you.
Wow. All right, let's put a pin in that. Come on.
And he dates to about 5,000 years ago.
Wow.
So anyway,
yeah.
I think we don't know a lot about the Chinese, and we need to get people in who do.
Yeah,
absolutely right.
And so we shall. Yeah. Well, brothers, fratelli, gentlemen, yet another remarkable interview. Thanks to the Marian Institute and the three of you for making it happen. And I look forward to our next quest, number 18, coming up very soon. Ian mentioned it, another look at Rudolf Steiner. So we will see each other again.
Good.
Good.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you,
Rob. Brothers.
Ciao.
Ciao.